Who are Dong-eun's allies, and how will they help her get her revenge? Let's find out in Season 1, Episode 3 of The Glory. How's it? I'm Evie, and welcome to After the Episode. On this channel, you'll explore unforgettable Korean dramas and anime. The epic action, wild twists, and moving moments. Let's tuck in. We learn why Hernam, the chairman's housekeeper, wants Dong-eun's help to end her husband. He is extremely aggressive towards her and her teenage daughter, Se-na, who even offers to end her father in order to save her mother. Hyunam begs her daughter not to and promises to sort out the situation herself. Dong-eun watches this altercation across the street, comes to a decision to enlist Hyunam. Elsewhere, Yo-jong is at the hospital treating patients, and he reminisces about playing Go with Dong-eun in college. He remembers their last game together years earlier. She had abruptly ended her lessons with him, saying he's not the person she's trying to beat. She gets up to leave for her tutoring job, but he tries to keep the conversation going, asking whether she's tutoring to save up for a house. Tutoring wouldn't be enough for that, they both agree. Yeon-jung doesn't want to say goodbye, and he doesn't believe that she could just leave like that. He hopes that she'll let him know what direction she's headed. She's running somewhere, but he doesn't know where. He wants to run too, but doesn't know how to get there. Frowning, Dong-eun replies he has no need to run, because he's already arrived. His life is laid out right in front of him since his mother is the hospital chief. She walks away from him and out of his life on a sour note. Sometime later, Dong-eun and Hernam meet at a car park and come to an arrangement on their alliance. Hyunam will spy on the bullies as well as the chairman of Hyunjin's daughter's school. In return, Dong-eun will come up with a plan to end Hyunam's husband and will also tutor Se-na, which is illegal. Dong-eun has a very flexible relationship with the law, so illegal tutoring is quite tame for her. Since this is Hyunam's first time with spy work, she needs to acquire some basic skills, so she learns how to drive and how to take pictures. Dong-eun then lends her a car to complete her mission. Hyunam first takes out Jaejun's clothing store and sees Hyunjin coming outside with him, and then later on attends Sara's church service. She leaves an SD card of the pictures she took for Dong-eun to review at their usual meeting place in the parking lot. From the pictures, Dong-eun finds out that Hyunjin has been taking her daughter Yisul to an eye specialist. This intrigues her because she remembers from her school days that Jaejun was always sensitive about the fact that he's colorblind. She's thrilled at the idea that Jaejun may actually be the father of Hyunjin's daughter. Speaking of Hyunjin's daughter, we get to know her a bit better. Yisul is at home playing around in her mother's iconic green heels. Yisul idolizes her mother and wants to be a weather presenter just like her. When Yisul asks Hyunjin what color the shoes are and mistakenly thinks they are red, Hyunjin tells her that colors don't matter, only how expensive and rare they are. Yisul, who is quite an intuitive child, assumes that Hyunjin wants her to keep this a secret from her dad. Hyunjin looks worried. Let's catch up with Yisul's biological father, Jaejun. He's at the country club that he owns and runs into a club member who's having lunch with a friend. The member would like her friend to join the country club, and she and Jaejun really hype the place up. The woman's friend is unimpressed, though, and basically tells them to calibrate their enthusiasm. She has the money to pay, and exercise is good anywhere. Turns out that the unimpressed woman is actually Hyunjin's husband's mother. When Jaejun finds this out, his demeanor changes. Although he feigns politeness to her face, he tells his employee in private not to accept her as a member of his exclusive club. He even removes her favorite item from the restaurant menu, purely out of spite. Jaejun is really jealous of Hyunjin's husband, Do-young, who we find at a Go club with his work colleague discussing business while playing the game. While they play, the work colleague tells him about the young woman in the back room who has beaten the owner of the ribs restaurant twice in a row. The woman is Dong-eun. As he watches her play, he realizes that she's an excellent player and is intrigued by her. Hyunam is on Hye-jung's tail and follows her as she gets off the bus. Hye-jung hasn't given up on trying to get Jaejun's attention and sends him texts, which she doesn't respond to. She sees Jaejun's green Bentley and runs up thinking that it's him, but it's actually Myung-oh, who laughs at how thirsty she is for Jaejun. She's not putting all of her eggs in that basket, though. Hae-jung has asked Myung-oh to investigate a rich man she's planning on spending quality time with. Myung-oh gives her the password to his device and shows her the information he has, but she needs him to find out more details. Hae-jung is determined to climb the social ladder, and Myung-oh is upset that Hae-jung believes that he'll never have high status in life. Speaking of someone with high status, we rejoin Do-young, who's at home and replaying Dong-eun's match in his mind. He realizes that she had already won the game, but had been dragging it out for some reason. Dong-eun was probably waiting for him and also hoping to gather a big enough crowd to watch her match in order to get his attention. Yeonjin walks in on him talking to himself, and she doesn't understand why he likes the game so much. Opposites attract, I guess. These two are always flirting. A couple I wish we'd see more flirting from is Dong-eun and Yeon-jung. While on the train for Seona's weekly tutoring session, Dong-eun runs into Yeon-jung. It's been years and he can't believe that he's seeing her again. They sit and chat for a few minutes. He's in Semyeong for a conference with some professors while she hopes to work there soon. He congratulates her on passing her teacher's exam and tells him that she heard from the people at the Go Park that he had joined the military as a medic. It's quite sweet how they've been keeping an eye on each other from afar. When he asks her whether she kept going to the Go Park, she looks away and doesn't answer the question. Instead, she asks if he wanted to write him letters while he was in the military. He assures her that medics tend to get a lot of love letters, but when she asks if he did, he gets an odd look on his face. He tells her that he doesn't like letters, and we learn that he receives letters from someone at a prison. Dong-eun decides to rejoin Seona for the tutoring session, since Seona has been staring at them for a while. Before they part ways, Yeon-jung thanks Dong-eun for playing Go with him in the park during the most difficult time of his life. She brought him warmth in that cold season and made him a kinder person. He gives Dong-eun his business card and asks him to contact him when she's ready. Dong-eun has another unexpected run-in, this time with her kindly landlord, who asks her why she's left her apartment empty for months, even though she was desperate to get a place there. Dong-eun replies that she hasn't managed to be sent to Semyeong yet, but she's trying her best. Sometime later, Dong-eun and Hyun-nam meet in the parking lot, even though they aren't really supposed to, because Hyun-nam is excited to explain the video she shot and wants to spill some tea. It turns out that the chairman of Yisul's school is having an affair with his driver and is secretly planning to include him in his will, which is just the information Dong-eun needs to blackmail him into giving her a position at Yisul's school. We find out later that the blackmail worked. Dong-eun and Hyun-nam share a light-hearted moment at this revelation, but Dong-eun doesn't want to get close to Hyun-nam, who loves working with her. She explains that experiencing happy feelings might jeopardize her quest for revenge. Back on mission, we find Dong-eun bringing flowers to the home of her old homeroom teacher, the one whose negligence allowed the bullying to take place. He doesn't recognize her when she introduces herself, even though she mentions that she dropped out of his high school in 2004. While they're talking, Dong-eun's college friend, who she said was special to her, arrives, and she acts just as surprised as he is that they're both there. He's confused why Dong-eun is visiting his father. She explains that she was a former student of his, and that she became a teacher just like him. It's at this point that the old teacher remembers how he attacked Dong-eun when she dropped out. He looks horrified, and she looks delighted. Later, Dong-eun meets with another enemy on the roof of an abandoned building. Myung-oh is curious about why she's not trying to destroy him like the other bullies, and she responds with a laugh that he's the only one of them that has nothing to lose. Naturally, this angers him, but she's utterly unfazed by his threats of pushing her off the building. She then reveals that Soo-hee, a girl that they all bullied, was pushed off that very building. When Myung-oh denies being involved, Dong-eun tells him to go and blackmail the person who did. She won't tell him who until he gives her what she asked for, Jaejun's hair for a paternity test. Myung-oh asks if Dong-eun had Jaejun's kid, and she finds that laughable. They'll meet again once she's confirmed about the hair, and Dong-eun walks away from him. She still wants revenge on Myung-oh and knows there's one thing Myung-oh still has that she can take: his life. Moving on to another bully, we see Sarah has been using, and her mother arrives to get her ready for her art exhibition. She brings a cleanup crew of 5 people and an IV drip for detox. Clearly, this is a common occurrence, and her mom is annoyed by her daughter's antics, but complicit all the same. At Sarah's art exhibition, the other bullies apart from Young-ho are in attendance. How supportive of them. Jae-jun buys her artwork, but Sarah says the price doesn't include shipping. This causes Hae-jung to call her a cheapskate, and Sarah, who never misses an opportunity to point out their difference in status, mocks Hae-jung for not understanding the burden of being in such a high tax bracket. Sarah leaves for a moment to act prim and proper in front of her mother and potential client, which amuses her friends. When she returns, Yeonjin invites them all to a ceremony at their former high school, where she's receiving an award. A month later, they're sitting in the high school gym waiting for the award ceremony to begin. Myung-ho is absent once again. Neither Hae-jung or Sarah can reach him on the phone, and Jae-jun is considering firing him. As they chat about how the school hasn't changed, who should walk through the door? Dong-eun, to their great surprise. They insult her and try to act completely unbothered by her arrival, but Dong-eun isn't afraid of them. She explains that she's happy to see them all again and that she's celebrating because of her new job. The bullies are officially on notice. Dong-eun is out in the open and ready to unleash nightmares. What lies in store for each of the bullies, and how will they respond to the plans that Dong-eun has put in motion? We'll see in my next recap video on episode 4, so check it out. Links are in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.